As the pandemic waned and federal employees trickled back to their offices, one thing became clear: the rules of dressing up to go to work had changed. In 2020, 45% of the federal workforce teleworked, and many employees hung up their ties and stowed away their dress heels. But as the White House expects in-person work to increase again, it begs the question: will DC's conservative corporate dress code go out of style? Federal Times asked this question of local nonprofits who supply professional clothing to newly employed workers in the DC area who may need help assembling an office-ready wardrobe. These organizations have been eye level with fashion trends in the capital region, and they say there's still something to be said about dressing for success. At Suited for Change, Executive Director Liz Reinert told us about how her organization helps women get ready for the workforce with clothes that can help them land and get started on a job. So, Liz, tell us a little bit about your work, the work that Suited for Change does, and this amazing room full of every color of shoe and belts and bags and accessories. Tell us a little bit about your work.
Sure. So my name is Liz Reinert. I'm the executive director at Suited for Change, and we are in the accessory room. So everyone loves to come into this room because obviously this is where a client ends up after her suiting appointment. So the first time a client comes to see us at Suited for Change, she is given a full set of interview appropriate clothing, two actually. And at the end of her suiting experience, where she's picked a couple of pairs of pants, a jacket, some scarves, we come in here and select the shoes. So this is usually one of the happiest places because she's already feeling pretty good about herself and she's looking at herself in a whole new way. And then someone comes to get their interview appropriate shoes and a handbag before they go on their way.
Sure. And you all serve women in this area for all kinds of jobs, no matter what they're going into, but generally one in which they would need workwear appropriate clothing.
Sure, at least interview appropriate clothing. Mm-hmm. So they may be in the hospitality field, or they may be maybe becoming a concierge and need to wear only black and white. And we can help with that after they get the job. But before they get the job, what we want to do is dress them in something that makes them feel powerful and competent and just gives them that extra step towards feeling better about themselves in the interview. We all know how you feel better when you put on something that makes you look good, right? It always helps to have the right thing on, boost of confidence, boost of energy. And so we are going to suit her for her job interview first.
And so talk to me a little bit about what goes into advising a client when they come in, especially if they've never worked in this kind of a work environment before. How are you approaching whether they know what the dress code is explicitly or not? How do you advise them?
We try and pay a lot more attention to how the woman herself feels. So we try and ask her, how do you feel in that? Mm-hmm. You know, so I think we've gone a little bit away from, you should be, you know, in the old 1,000 years ago, you know, when you had to match your shoes to your handbag and you had to wear hose on Capitol Hill, you know, right. That has changed. We still steer conservative, but it's much more important to us that we ask the woman how she feels.
There may be a assumption that because of the pandemic, things are just kind of wildly different. But I think this city is a kind of a special city because it is kind of steeped in tradition. And so I was wondering if you could kind of tease just a little bit more to, you know, again, how you would characterize that style.
I mean, you kind of said it. I mean, you can see that we tend towards traditional, more neutral colors. We closed-toed shoes. You know, we don't carry stilettos. We do ask women if they're more comfortable in pants or dresses or skirts. So, but we build on that. We call it suiting. So it is conservative. And I do think that it's a little bit old Washington, DC. But, you know, one of my favorite things, you asked this, one client that we had that I really loved, she looked at herself in the mirror and said, I look like a congresswoman. Her name is Jessie. And she was wonderful. And she, you know, I look like a congresswoman. And people didn't recognize her after that. And she felt great about herself. Yeah. So that's what we want.
I also spoke to advisors at Dress for Success in Washington, D.C., where program and events manager Danielle Rozier helps women become economically self-sufficient by supplying them with not just a professional wardrobe, but also with career coaching.
We just have all kinds of, like, here's another Anne Klein. This is a 12, really nice black classic basic suit that someone would need.
In her work at Dress for Success, Rozier ensures each client has a capsule wardrobe of pieces that can be mixed and matched to work together for a federal office dress code. And during the pandemic, when many interviews and jobs were virtual, she paid particular attention to what a client would need to look professional from the waist up.
You know, if you're doing a virtual interview or you're working virtual, we can pull a pop of color like this. You can just put a nice plain shirt underneath of it, white shirt, and the yellow pops, and you still feel as though you're at the job. You might have on this up top, but then on the bottom you might have on pajama pants. But it works. Your hair's done, your makeup's done,
Accessories.
and you have a pop of color.
And that's a whole outfit as far as anybody on the other side of that camera is concerned.
Isn't that a great color?
It is great. It's got the tag on it. That's amazing.
That's what I love.
So Danielle, I would be remiss if I did not say that I have got to try some of this. I mean, this is just a perfect environment to find something. I would wear it to work, kind of a corporate environment. So I think we should do that.
Yes, and I chose 2 outfits for you to try on. So I'm excited for you to try them on.
Okay.
So go in there.
Let's see how it looks.
Yeah.
All right. What do we think?
Oh my gosh, you look so good.
I feel good. I feel like I could walk into the halls of Congress in a hotel.
Look at this.
So,
girl,
why does this work, Danielle? Like, why is this a winning formula?
First of all, it's a classic, great suit. The color is still, it's not a black suit, but it's a blue. It's still a classic look.
Yeah.
And it fits so well. Oh, you look so good.
I feel good. I feel like I could go find an interview today. I would
Girl,
crush it.
You can crush it.
The Office of Personnel Management, the government's HR office, does not issue a government-wide dress code, leaving agencies to decide for themselves what is appropriate. Congressional offices also seem to set expectations for their own staffs. And in the Pentagon, it's not at all uncommon to see military service members in dress uniforms and contractors in suits. For more information on wardrobe assistance for those entering the federal workforce, check out our coverage on federaltimes.com. For Federal Times, I'm Molly Weisner.